Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you know that Jerry Reed song, If You're Hot, You're Hot, If You're Not, You're Not? Well, listen to it from time to time. Yes, if you're hot, you're hot. If you're not, you're not. Well, we got a hot guy here. Not that way. Hot intellectually and with balls. Hot balls. And his name is Peter Szijjarto. He's the foreign minister of Hungary. He says things that no other foreign minister or official in Europe dares to say. No one else. And not because he's an idiot, but because he's got balls, that's why, and he's smart. Here it is, an article from Russia Today. Ukraine isn't fighting for Europe. Kiev is not defending peace on the continent and will not get weapons from Budapest, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto has said. True, 100%. These weasels are trying to disseminate and promote this false narrative, this scenario, that if Ukraine, let's put it to the extreme, Ukraine is conquered by evil Russians. Let's put it to that. Then next is going to be the Baltic states, Poland, and then everybody else. Europe will be conquered by Russia. This idiotic narrative promoted by these guys that are trying to get us scared. They don't get me scared, that's for sure. But anyway, they get the weaklings of our society scared, for sure. Peter Szijjarto says, no, they're not defending. What are you talking about? Stop that. Okay, let's see what else this article has to say. Hungary rejects any approach to the Ukraine conflict that suggests that Kiev is somehow fighting to protect peace and democracy in Europe, Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto has said, adding that the only issue in Ukraine's own territorial integrity. That the only issue is Ukraine's own territorial integrity. Speaking at a press conference following a meeting of foreign ministers of the NATO Ukraine Council, Szijjarto called for an end to deliveries to lethal aid to Kiev, warning that such assistance has the potential to spark an escalation of the conflict. He noted that while Hungary supports the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine, the ongoing conflict between Moscow and Kiev is, and I'm quoting, not Europe's fight, and is not about peace and democracy in Europe. I agree with that. And I'm quoting the foreign minister. Ukraine is fighting for itself, for its own territorial integrity, its own sovereignty, and its own independence, which we value very much because it is a heroic fight, of course. But I say again, this is not our war, which is why we reject any approach that starts from this, Szijjarto said. Bravo, bravo. He added that NATO membership for Ukraine should be out of the question, given the current circumstances. Logical guy. He noted that Kiev's accession to the bloc is not even an option, given that countries at war cannot be accepted. ABC 123. In Skopje, North Macedonia, Peter Szijjarto met Sergei Lavrov of Russia. Shook hands and had some conversation. He was not the only one, by the way, even though these guys tried to portray that Lavrov was isolated. Bad for you, good for him. If people were weasels, good for them. Go home to mommy. Go and lick your wounds from jerking off because you didn't fight. Anyway, it says here that such a move would put the alliance itself in danger and could potentially spark a world war, the minister said. The second reason, according to Szijjarto, is the fact that NATO is a community of values, which has no place for a state that constantly, I'm quoting, constantly suppresses the rights of national minorities. Bing bong bang, bing bing bang, of course. Budapest has repeatedly accused Kiev of suppressing the right of nearly 150,000 ethnic Hungarians living in Ukraine to speak their own language by introducing laws requiring that Ukraine be spoken in public life, school, the media, as well as in the offices. Despite assurances from Kiev that a bill has already been drafted to address the issue, Szijjarto insisted that simple promises are meaningless. Oh, good job, you learned, not like the Russians when they were promised that NATO will not move 1 inch east. Because what the Americans said in December 2021. Is there any signed document? Can you hand one to us? Oh, just the side notes of what was his name, Shevardnadze, that at that time was like foreign minister of Soviet Union. Yeah, there's some side notes of can't remember his first name. Shevardnadze is the name of the last Soviet. He was Georgian, like Stalin. Anyway, a smart guy. I can't remember his first name. Yuri Shevardnadze. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, that's all they got. And when Jim Baker said, Secretary of State of U.S., oh no, 1 inch eastward. Promise, cross my heart, hope to die. Idiots. And the Russians said, okay, man, davai, let's go, blah, blah, blah. And what happened? In 2021, the Americans said, do you have any document? No, but we have your gentleman promise. There's no gentleman understanding, or how is that? No, there's no such a thing, my boy. We're not gentlemen here. Oh, okay, thank you very much. Now you find out, after what, 30 years? Yep. Boop, boop. Idiots, what can I say? So Szijjarto said, no. Let's don't promise here. And by the way, I can remember an official in Ukraine said, I can't remember who he was, high up, not like, he said that the Hungarian minority will not have special treatment. Okay, but what this guy is saying is not saying anything that anyone else does in Europe. Romanians for the Hungarians, Hungarians for the Romanians, Romanians for the Ukrainians, and Ukrainians for nobody. All right, so despite assurances, okay, the simple promises are meaningless, and that Hungary only believes in fully adopted and implemented legislation. So law adopted and implemented fully. And I'm quoting, you can't lead us or mislead us with statements. I want to put a portrait of Szijjarto right here somewhere. I'm going to do like Adolf and Henry Ford I. I think each of them had a portrait of each other in their offices. You know that Henry Ford I received Germany's, at that time, highest civilian medal from Adolf. It was handed out by the I think the German embassy in the United States of America. He didn't go to travel to see Adolf and shake hands or anything. That would have been too much. But anyway, so they were buddies. Read into that. If you're not familiar with the Dearborn Independent, go and read the Dearborn Independent. That was Henry Ford's newspaper in Michigan. I read a lot of that. Very interesting. He even published that book with the elders of something. Remember that one? Yeah, he published it over there. He had a little. He was writing. Henry Ford I was writing over there articles regarding the international. You look into it. I just give you hints, pack, and you go and look. So, Szijjarto's statement, I visited his grave, by the way, in Michigan. Not Adolf's grave, but Henry Ford I. Very simple grave. Very simple. You can't even believe it's him and his wife, just a plaque, one here, and that's it. And the names, and it's surrounded by this high, not even to my dick, fence that you can just hop over if you want, and you can take a doo-doo if you want on his grave right there, or you can lay a flower or shed a few tears, which great respect I had for Henry Ford. I still have. All right. Szijjarto's statement comes after NATO promised on Wednesday that it will develop a roadmap towards Ukraine's full interoperability. All right. With the bloc's militaries, but stopped short of offering any membership prospect for Kiev. Russia, meanwhile, has repeatedly made it clear that Ukraine's membership in NATO would be unacceptable to Moscow. That's why they unprovokedly attacked Ukraine. President Putin has also cited Kiev's potential accession to the US bloc as one of the key reasons for the military operation against Kiev. So they said it many times, but somehow it was unprovoked. They said, you're too close, you're too close, you're too close. For my comfort, for my security, I'm going to smack you. Remember when the Soviets said they will deploy nuclear weapons, or they started, so these guys can see there for real. These guys want to start a war. Why? Because they said we can't accept that next door to us. But somehow the Russians should be okay nowadays with better missiles, faster missiles, more exact, accurate missiles. They should be okay, even closer to them. Those guys, threw a fit in 1962 with nuclear weapons. 62. And they were ready to start a war. And the Soviets beat them. Why? They said, no, we're not going to do it until you take your Jupiters from Jupiter nuclear weapons, rockets, not like these were sending tubes so the Americans can photograph them and say, they're doing something over there, there's sites over there in plain view. The Russians did it. That's how the whole thing started in 62 with that. Khrushchev told JFK, you need to take your nuclear weapons from Turkey, the Jupiter, and you got in Italy as well. You got them deployed in Turkey. You take them out. And they did the same thing they did in 2001 to Putin. Get out of here. Fuck off, man. What are you going to do about it? Rob one? Go ahead. That's what they did. And Khrushchev said, yeah, let's put some nuclear weapons over there and they can see it. And we're not going to get that point. Remember, there was no nuclear weapon. When you hear anybody here saying they deployed nuclear weapons in Cuba, that's a lie. There was no nuclear weapon deployed to Cuba. None of them reached there. Got that? So you're going to hear a lot of idiots, even military generals saying that. That's a lie. They started preparing the sites and they were sending the tubes. Where were the tubes? On top of the vessels. Why? They couldn't hide them or something? So these guys can see it, so then they can negotiate. And in a negotiation, what happened? Khrushchev said, no, we're not going to stop that. But we know that's one way we're going to stop it. If you take your Jupiters out of Turkey. If you lose, and I'm going to make you do that, as I said before, and you said, go and rob one. And JFK said, yes, in 6 months we're going to do that, but stop delivering anything or continuing. And Khrushchev said, yeah, let's go. Thank you very much. Auf Wiedersehen, see you never. Because you know why. And they took care of him, these guys here. So that's how it was. So this guy stopped creating the launching pads over there. And these guys in 6 months took all their Jupiter rockets from Turkey. As Khrushchev told him. And he said first, no. The same here with Russia. Russia said, you can't come too close here. And you're going to start a war. Like those guys would have started an atomic war. This guy started with Ukraine. And those guys, okay, this is our time to kneel Russia and get it once and for all done. The biggest danger. China is, but not really. China is more isolated how do you call it? Than Russia. More isolated. Look on the map. China has what? Mongolia, Russia, and then it has South Korea, not yet. North Korea, and then got the ocean. Right? Did I miss anybody over there? What else they have? But Russia has the whole north is open to go wherever they want. Then they got everything in the south, the Caucasus. They got China. They got Kazakhstan, if they go down to Iran through the Caucasus if they want, they can do whatever they want over there. They go to Europe, they have all these, Black Sea, they have whatever. Caspian Sea is a closed sea, but anyway. So, and more nuclear weapons, more contacts, and different. So here it is, my friends. Szijjarto says it how it is. People that would not dare to say it. Ukraine isn't fighting for Europe. That's a fact. I said it. For normal people, that is normal. For weasels or assholes or traitors, that is like... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.